couple things that I go back to, and some of them aren't even really, I don't want to say police related, because I guess everything while we're working is police related. Got to, there was an older couple in Byron back early in my career that got stranded out end of October in the Virgin Swamp, and I worked predominantly the 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. shifts, so out there, and got to help rescue an older couple when we found them and carry them out of the swamp where they're hypothermic, and do that. Not necessarily what everyone thinks is a traditional police stuff, but that was a satisfying thing to be able to do. I don't know. I mean, that's one of them. I said, all the different people that I've had a chance to meet from literally all over the country, whether it be other police officers from, small little villages, in the Midwest, to FBI and ICE, and like all over the East Coast and Midwest that, our investigations have, tied together with them, and all those relationships, and how I guess we're all out for the same purposes, just to do what we're paid to do by our jurisdiction, do right by the public.
Why did you want to go into law enforcement? Did the job meet your expectations?
My aunt and uncle were both civilians at the state police barracks in Batavia. My uncle was a dispatcher, retired out of there. He's now deceased, but and my aunt was a secretary for the captain, the administrative captain. So I got to see when the state police barracks opened here in Batavia when I was just a very young lad. Even though I didn't have any other family in law enforcement, just seeing what they did and who they worked with, and getting to meet some of the troopers early on in my career, it kind of just always seemed like just something I just wanted to do. It was, sometimes people allude to a calling, and I really felt like it was. Did it meet my expectations? I guess, when you're growing up as a kid, there's, glamorized, police, shows back when I was growing up and things like that. Now realizing they're, more fiction than fact. A lot more dark than it's obviously portrayed, on TV. Way before reality TV and stuff like that, more of the shows that were doing that. But got to see a lot of light, the light too. Got to see people do some pretty amazing things, and watching people step up when they had to, and being able to participate, in that. So yeah, it exceeded my expectations. I guess I really didn't know what it was, but it was sometimes, kind of, I don't want to say scary, but sometimes, you don't necessarily know what you're going into with certain situations, and, you have to address it and deal with it. You have to set aside your hesitation, your fear, those things like that, and you have to act and be respectful to, your position as a police officer, deputy, trooper, whatever it is. Be true to your oath, be true to that, and do your best. So I said I'm grateful I got a chance to do it.
And now, how old are you?
I'm 51.
51. Okay. So you started 20.
I started when I was 20. Yeah, I was 28, almost 29 when I started. Yeah. So I started a little bit later, than some of our new ones now that start, and then they're in their early 20s. But that's all right.
So how have things changed since when you first started?
Technology has really changed. Everything was done on paper. Paper incident reports, paper tickets. Everything was done, that way. And then the transition back in probably around 2004, 2005-ish range is when we started going computers in the car and started doing electronic ticketing and things along those lines. So that's probably one of the biggest changes that has probably changed the job. It's technology is great, when it works right. There's always hiccups. It works right for the most part, but.
So what are your plans after this? I know you don't want to touch on other things, but what are your plans?
Enjoy life from, I don't say the other side, but from a different perspective. Thought I always had a pretty good way to separate work and home. You don't necessarily want to bring work home. You don't want to leave your family and significant others out of what's going on at the job. But obviously, you can't tell them everything that's going on either. But I said I was pretty lucky to be able to deal with that. It was told me to wear the job like a coat. When you're done with your day, hang that coat up and leave it there, and when you're come back in, put it back on and do your job.
What would you like to say to the people of Genesee County?
Hopefully, I've made just a little bit of difference. Not perfect, and always trying to improve and work on it and be better. But hopefully, I've made some positive impacts on the community and people's families and stuff like that. Go ahead.
On the walkout here, you got a little emotional. What
Yeah.
what brought up the emotion? What was going through your mind?
Kind of, as just how I am. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. So I don't know. It's like I said, it's a little different. I'm retiring. I'm of my own volition here. But this is something that's been a big part of most of my adult life. I guess the biggest part of, when we told my 10-year-old son, sorry, I'm gonna get this way now. Last week, he had me breaking down because, his dad wasn't going to be a cop anymore. But then he kind of, he's a mini me, so, kind of venturing to guess he emulates that and what I'm doing. And I think that by him seeing the way I do my job, that's what he, kind of has aspirations, or at least, 10-year-old dreams of doing. So, yeah. So, enjoying life with just hopefully not bringing, having that phone call, necessarily, at any time of day or night to come out to, have to do something sometimes. And most of the time, if you're getting called out in the middle of the night, it's not good for someone.